Hello and welcome to the Festival of Tomorrow. I'm Allie from Auroch Digital and I'm here with eirawave the streamer and Paul Smith from the UK Space Agency. We're here playing Mars Horizon, which is a video game that you can play on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, where you lead a major space agency as you guide humanity to Mars in this strategy simulation game. Construct a base, design and build rockets, conduct missions throughout the solar system, and write your own history of space exploration. Created with support from the European Space Agency. And now I'm going to let Eira and Paul introduce themselves. So Paul, if you'd like to go first.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Smith. I work for the UK Space Agency as Robotic Exploration Programme Manager.
And Eira?
Hi, I'm Eira. I'm a Twitch streamer and a graphic designer and a big fan of space and space games.
Cool. And Eira is currently playing Mars Horizon, but on a campaign that they've started a while ago. So Eira, do you want to let us know where you are, who you're playing as, and what your favourite bit about the game is?
Yep. So I'm playing as the European Space Agency, and I've gone quite a way into the game. As you can see, we're now exploring the other planets in the solar system. We're about to do a mission on Venus and a mission on Mars. And yeah, my favourite thing about Mars Horizon is how accessible and straightforward it is, and how that makes it exciting for everyone to play. So we've got 2 missions going at the moment, I think. Oh, we've got 3 missions. So one is a solar observatory, one is the Mars flyby mission, which I think we've done the first phase for. We're about to do the second phase, and then we are in planning to do the Venus impactor mission. We're just building this. Is this a rocket? I think. It looks like a rocket. We're building that, and yeah. So that part for the Venus impactor finishes in 7 months. Oh, okay, we're launching. It's been a while. Okay, so this is the solar observatory. So a research group is looking to set up an orbiting solar observatory, launch a satellite into Earth orbit to take part in the project. So I think this is a joint project with some other space agencies, maybe. Oh, good that we get to start the stream off with a rocket potentially exploding.
No, it will be fine. There'll be no exploding rockets today. None.
Well, you said I can't reload my save if I do anything wrong, so...
No, you cannot reload your save. This is not a video game anymore, this is real life. So
84% launch reliability. I think we're good to go.
Yeah? I reckon you're good to go. I reckon you can nail this. I think you'll be fine.
Yep. I do feel like it's always the 99% ones that explode though. It's a beautiful day for a rocket to explode.
Yes. It's looking good so far. Yay!
Yay! I'm so glad.
Oh,
Very
just about.
close.
Yeah.
A bit too close.
It's fine. No one knows it was only 9%, 19%.
So Paul, when do you relax during a real life launch? Is it just after it leaves the atmosphere, or that because that's when we celebrate, obviously? Yeah, gotta enter space. But when is it? When do you celebrate it?
Well, launches are, as you know, very complicated. So as soon as it leaves the atmosphere, you can get a bit of breathing space. But from there, you've got being able to release the satellite, separate the spacecraft, and all of these other things happen. You've got a the second stage of a rocket has to send the spacecraft into orbit as well. So that's you're igniting another engine, but this time it's not on Earth, so it's a little safer. But there's still plenty of things that can go wrong. Luckily, though, you have a lot more time to work through things once everything is up in space. If there are issues, you can hopefully do some things about it from the ground. But speaking to scientists and engineers who work on these things, they don't relax. It's always fingers crossed, hope for the best. Especially with things like landers, when you send things to another planet. land on them, you've got that initial launch anxiety, and then this long period of waiting until the spacecraft gets there, and then what's called the 7 minutes of hell, the landing on Mars, where you basically have no communications and you can't do anything with the spacecraft as it enters the atmosphere. So very much just wait and see and hope for the best.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I was able to watch the NASA InSight lander and land on Mars at Oxford University, and all of the scientists there were, nerves were racked, and cheers and tears were had when the first images came back from the surface. It can be a very emotional moment for people who've worked almost their entire careers on these things.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah. Does it happen very often that if something goes wrong, like, because in here, obviously the rocket's blow up. In real life, is it like a case that something might go wrong and the whole thing is destroyed? Like, does that ever happen?
It does happen. Mars in particular is hard to get to. Something like only 50% of all missions to Mars actually succeed. That's including orbiters, let alone landing on it. It's space is hard. It's very difficult to get there successfully. Most of the sort of errors that happen, you can solve before a launch happens. So you can, if the weather looks too bad, you can cancel the launch. If there's something wrong with the fuel lines or something, you can cancel the launch before anything goes wrong. But once it's in space, you're kind of tied to it.
So why are us humans so focused on getting to Mars?
Mars it's our closest neighbour. It's pretty similar to Earth in many respects, but it is half the size of Earth. It has about a third of the gravity. It has a very thin atmosphere, but we think that it used to be a lot more Earth-like. So we used to have liquid water on the surface, and as we know, everywhere there's water on Earth, there is life. So Mars is a prime candidate for finding life or the evidence of past life that originated separate from the Earth. And so it holds a lot of promise for answering questions about the origins of life as we know it.
That's really fascinating. What do you think makes it for Mars able to have water and stuff where the other planets can't?
Yeah, that's a good question. Mars inhabits an area that's sort of called the habitable zone around our star. So it's close enough that when it did have an atmosphere, there would have been liquid water on the surface. But if you go too far away from the sun, then no liquid water can exist. It's only ice, or if there is liquid water, it's encased under miles upon miles of ice. There's moons of Saturn and Jupiter have a couple of liquid oceans that are encased in kilometers of ice. If you get too close to the sun, then all of the water boils away. So there's this sweet spot where we exist, where we're in perfect climate, with liquid water, right levels of oxygen, and so on. Mars is just sort of on the edge, basically. So if it still had a big atmosphere, then there could be a chance of even living on Mars. That's the other part of why it's so prevalent in sort of human exploration. Is we all have dreams of living and working on other planets, and Mars is the closest one that isn't actively hostile to us, say, like Venus, which is runaway greenhouse effects.
Oh yeah.
And sulfur volcanoes. It's not a very nice place to live.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like it, no. So I'm just about to start the next phase of the Mars flyby mission. So that's sending a probe up to go and look at Mars, which is really cool. There it goes. Off on a big adventure to have a look at Mars. So I guess like in Mars Horizon, the first phase of this is like when the probe and the rocket leaves Earth, and then this is it arriving at Mars. So of course there's like tasks you have to do at each side to make sure it leaves safely and make sure it arrives safely. Is that like quite an accurate representation of in real life? Like, do you just kind of like forget about it until it gets to where it is?
Well, on the way to somewhere like Mars, you'll be in contact with the spacecraft itself. It will probably be in a low power state because its engines aren't active. It's not generating enough electricity and so on to keep itself fully active. Plus, there's not really a lot for it to look at on the way. But you'll be in communication with it, so you'll have like technical readouts. You'll know whether anything's going wrong, whether your comms equipment are working, as they don't seem to be in this one.
You noticed? I was just going to be like, maybe I can fix this without anyone realizing. I think it's going to be okay. It's the first round. Oh no. In the game, it feels like really high stakes at this point because you spent so much time and so much money getting this thing just for it to like not work at the other end.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's gonna be okay. I have 3 turns left. We can fix this.
Okay, if you think so.
Yeah. This like little mini game is my favorite part of the game actually.
Is it?
I really enjoy like choosing the symbols and making the numbers add up and stuff. It's really
quite
fun.
satisfying, isn't it? When it
Yeah.
goes, especially when it goes right and doesn't go wrong. Not that it's gone horrifically wrong for you yet, but
It's okay. I've got 2 out of 3 things. I only need to get 2 more of these.
I think you can do it.
Oh.
I think you can do it.
I'm sure I could do it. We're not going for the 50% bonus this time. It seems a bit too risky.
Yes, I agree. So, Paul, do you enjoy games in general?
Yeah, I do. My off time, I like to play a few games. Space games are obviously part of that. Who doesn't enjoy space? For the reason I'm in the career that I am. Yeah, I tend to play strategy games more, but I have a big soft spot for things like Mass Effect. That was a big space franchise. My favorite game series of all time, though, is Homeworld, not the Homeworld series.
Nice. So how did you get into the space industry?
So my degree is actually in psychology and neuroscience, and from there I went to work for what is now UK Research and Innovation, which is the sort of funding agency for science in the UK. And it turned out that the space agency was located in the same building. So I eventually badgered a bunch of people, knocked down the door, and worked my way in through applying for everything. And I was lucky enough to get one of the roles with a big mouthful of a title. But it is it's a dream role, really. And I get to speak to scientists and engineers and look at rovers and help fund and design new technologies for space exploration, and talk regularly with NASA and ESA and one of the other space agencies. So it's much like doing combined missions on Mars Horizon as well. So it's fun to see my job as a game.
That's amazing. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to work at a space agency?
Well, space is one of those things that every kid dreams of, and I grew up on science fiction, watching Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and all of that sort of thing. So, who doesn't want to be an astronaut and step on the moon or Mars? So, now I get to, send rovers to Mars and speak with astronauts on a almost daily basis. It's
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So we completed the Mars flyby mission. Unfortunately, we were only the second agency to do that.
So would you normally restart now?
Yes. I'm not sure who got there first. Oh, okay. China got there first. That's fine. I'll just sabotage this mission we're working on together. In Mars Horizon, it feels like it's like almost encourages you to be a bit antagonistic with the other agencies. But I did accept a mission to work with China, I think, where we're going to look at the Earth's oceans with a satellite. Is this like a common kind of mission you'd work with other space agencies on? And like how does it look when you're cooperating with other agencies?
That's a really good question. So a lot of what we do in the UKSA is part of ESA, which is the European Space Agency, and is a combined total of 21 countries, not only from Europe, but also including Canada as well. And so we all collaborate together within ESA, but ESA also collaborates with agencies like NASA or Roscosmos, the Russian space agency. There's a couple of big missions that we're collaborating on and providing instruments for as well. So ESA and NASA are working together on Mars sample return, of which the Mars 2020 Perseverance Rover that lands on the 18th of February on Mars is the first step for, and that will be caching samples of Martian soil that a European rover and rocket system will eventually bring back to Earth. We're also collaborating with Roscosmos on Luna 27, which is a robotic mission to the surface of the moon that will use British instruments to help analyze the lunar regolith or soil of the moon and determine whether there's things like water or metals in the regolith that we can eventually use as, say, fuel for further rockets to launch from the moon.
That's really interesting. So I just had like a message come up about the public's response, the media's response to our Mars flyby mission. Apparently they were very disappointed that we didn't find aliens. And I had the option to either fund a campaign to reignite public support in my space agency, or commit to sending another like probe to Mars. Obviously, in Mars Horizons, there are a lot of situations where you can basically, like, especially at the start, you can basically like tell the press that aliens exist and things like that. Like, do you know like how much goes into like the PR decisions made by the UK Space Agency and ESA?
Our communications team have an enviable job of dispelling rumours about space aliens. They are very good at communicating with the wider public. We have Twitter and make regular announcements from our website. ESA, is a much bigger organisation and so has much more resources to engage with the public. Astronauts are, as part of their contracts, they have to go and talk to the press and do talks with schools and education. Tim Peake here, our own astronaut, has done a lot of work with the public, with schools. We've had very successful education campaigns with him, and so it's PR is a big part of space. And whilst you sort of think, space, that's always everyone's interested. It's not always the case that everyone automatically approves of everything that you do. It's all about education is sort of our primary thing. We have fund projects in schools and at museums and things like that for educating kids on space and engineering and STEM subjects. They're all interrelated and they're all really important for the future.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, obviously as someone who really, really likes space and like loves like hearing about anything to do with space, it kind of like surprises me to think that some people are maybe not as interested or like don't understand as well like how cool it is that we send like machines up into space all the time and like we're learning new things about stuff that we can't even like see with our own eyes. It's really fascinating.
The space industry is one of those things that provides a lot of hidden benefits. A lot of mobile phone technology all comes from space. Without satellites in space, you wouldn't have Google Maps or anything like that. A lot of telecommunications, satellite TV, the internet, are all enabled by space.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I meant to mention earlier, I had a pop-up come up saying that one of our satellites detected a hurricane before it hit, which is really cool when you think about it. Like, those other benefits you were talking about and how like developing this technology is so important to like life on Earth as well. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, you can use satellites for disaster relief, for identifying the worst hit areas where supplies need to go. There's early warning systems when you say detecting hurricanes or tsunamis, things like that. They're all extreme weather events and will be mitigated by technologies in space and more climate science and imaging satellites and things like that we have, the better we can respond to these kinds of disasters.
That's really interesting. I've just noticed that it turns out both Russia, I think, and Japan are at Venus already, so I think I've officially lost the space race. I was like, hang on, who's over there? Yeah, I haven't even like built the rocket to go to Venus yet, so it's fine. We're gonna get there. It's not the who gets there first. Everyone has their own path, right?
Sure.
That might be very different from what I was saying at the start of the stream.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is my Venus rocket that I'm just preparing for a launch day.
I mean, it's the taking part that counts, right? So
Yeah.
you definitely took part. You definitely took part.
I have a rocket and oh my gosh. Look at all of these.
No.
Maybe we're not launching it in like the next year, but look it up there. Yeah, so these launch windows, the orange ones are suboptimal and the red ones are like you can't launch during this date. So I have to either take a risk or launch it in like a full year. Yeah, it's now June and my first optimal window is next August. So
what's your launch reliability on the next month?
73. That's not bad, I guess. I guess I could take a risk, and then if we show up and it's raining, we can reschedule.
Okay. The rain always throws me off.
Yeah.
Always throws me off.
I feel like at the start of the game, it's not like you feel like you can blow up every rocket and it's fine. But at this point, I'm like, money is so scarce. I cannot afford to blow up a like several 100,000 worth of rocket,
Fingers crossed.
I've also So I've had some new buildings in here that I needed to build for a while, and I've just not had the money. But I think now we can build this this Hall of Fame.
That will only leave you with like 81,000 though.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Don't let me influence your decisions.
it's a museum.
Yeah, I
oh no,
know.
wait, it's not a museum.
Well,
Increases the number of astronauts in the astronaut pool by 4. Oh, I see. So this is like to help us recruit people.
yeah.
It's like you can be famous and you can be in this building
Mhm.
one day, but you have to be an astronaut first. I really like this bit of the game as well. Like, it's really fun trying to figure out where's the best place to put it.
I love
Although,
how
like-
chaotic everything's laid out on your base.
Yeah, I take it very seriously. I'm like, I gotta have as many like little plus signs as possible. We've got to keep things running smoothly. Actually, I don't think I can afford to put it down because I need to put it here, and I don't have the money to get rid of these rocks. That's really sad.
Oh, no.
Oh
I mean,
well.
I think that's a blessing in disguise, really. Just saying.
Well, I was gonna say I don't need the money for anything else, but what if I blow up a rocket?
Exactly. What if it blows out? Just saying.
It's
You
gonna
do
be
want-
okay. Right, we're gonna launch maybe
It's very
the
scary.
Venus Impactor.
It's very
Shit.
scary.
It's not raining.
Hooray! Oh, it's a lovely day.
Yeah,
It's a lovely day.
nice pretty sunset or sunrise.
I reckon you could nail this.
Nice. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Maybe we could be third to Venus.
Fourth, it will be fourth.
What?
Everyone else has already got there.
2 people have got there.
Three
I thought.
people have got there. I'm pretty sure it just said that the bronze badge has been taken. I might have misread that though, but I'm pretty sure the bronze badge has been taken.
Well,
You're gonna be
there's no
America though.
losers. Okay. At least I'm not last. Oh no.
This is fine.
It's gonna be fine.
It didn't explode.
It didn't explode. It might like drift off into space, but it didn't explode.
Odd. You can do it. You can do it. Have faith. A bit of faith. Crikey. So is it better to send robots to Mars instead of people, or?
Certainly in the first case, you need to know what the environment is like. Unless you don't get there, as
Everything's fine. It's going really well.
You're just hoping that we're not noticing, aren't you?
I'm just like, I'll just quietly get on with it.
yeah, robots are a really important part of space exploration. They are much cheaper to send than people. You know, a human-rated vehicle to the moon is considerably more expensive than just sending a small lander. Because you've got to be able to look after your astronauts. And you don't want anything bad to happen to them. Whereas it's less bad if something were to happen to a rover or a lander. You know, that's part of the reason we're sending the Rosalind Franklin rover, which was built here in Britain for the European Space Agency. That's a project that I've been lucky enough to be involved with and seen inside the clean lab where it was built and assembled, which is really exciting. But there's a reason we're sending it. And that's to find past or present evidence of life on Mars, but also to pave the way for future human exploration of the Martian surface. It's really important to know what you're getting into before sending someone. You can't completely change all of your mission parameters once you've launched humans. You've got to have everything planned in advance. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to take advantage of the amazing opportunity that you have.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
How far off do you think we are from humans being able to go to Mars? Like, what's necessary for us to get there?
Mars is, aside from it being far away and so on, it's the journey to Mars is something that it's a long time. It's several months of astronauts being cooped up in a place that they can't get home from. And so you have a really good space station environment in the ISS that astronauts can use as that we're using as a way of testing isolation and all of that sort of thing on humans. But you've got to have things like radiation protection, because Mars is so far away and the spaceship is not protected from the sun's harsh radiation as it is in orbit around Earth. So you've got to think about that. There's large amounts of technology that we still that isn't fully developed enough to land people on Mars. Plus, the fuel requirements are so large that it may become prohibitively expensive to build a single rocket to go there, land, and come back. So you've got to have multi-stage vehicles and possibly even fuel production on the surface of Mars that heads there beforehand to generate enough fuel for the astronauts to come home again. So there's a lot of technology that we need to work out beforehand. After NASA's Artemis project, which is the next man and the first woman back on the moon, they'll be looking further afield, and Mars may well be everyone's next target. So, that's part of why the Artemis project exists, is as a stepping stone on the way to human exploration of Mars.
Yeah, that's very interesting. There's so much to think about. It's like such a big mission.
Yeah, hundreds, thousands of people involved, and thinking about it all day, every day.
Yeah. So yeah, we did the first phase of the Venus impactor. I told you I had it all under control.
Well done.
Everything went very well. We are on our way to Venus.
I'm so proud. I honestly didn't expect it to go as well as it did. So, congrats.
What can I say? I am a pro at running the ESA.
You'll be vying for my job next.
Oh, look at all those optimal launch windows.
Right?
Nice.
Why can I have that before? See, now I have a choice because I've got actually I might set some different training because you can set training to improve whatever your mission rewards you, or you can improve launch reliability and stuff, and obviously you get more benefit from the training the later you leave it. So because I have all these choice windows, I'm gonna leave it a couple of months and get maximum research points so I can get to Mars quicker.
Nice tactics. I like it.
Yep. You don't be the fourth person to Venus. Oh, this one is going to the moon. So send a probe to orbit the moon and photograph its far side, the hemisphere facing away from Earth. It has minus 10% launch reliability, so I'll probably do some launch reliability training.
Okay.
Wait. There you go. And that can wait a few months as well because it's not like going to Venus for the first time, which we needed to do like right now. I think we're about to start the next phase of the Venus mission.
Oh, cool.
Oh, we have loads of money now, actually. I was like, wait. Let me see. 750 to remove this rock.
It's quite steep.
750,000, my bad. And then it's 500 to build. I don't have enough to do those.
Oh no. Well, you gotta get rid of the rock at one point, right?
I do have to get rid of the rock, yeah. It might be like... Oh no, I have 2 rocks to get rid of. This isn't working out as well as I'd hoped. I have to say, like, removing rocks is like my biggest obstacle in this game. Oh, I can put it here, and it'll only cost me 600,000.
Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Well done.
Okay. I don't have enough funds to build the actually useful building, which costs a lot of money.
Dear.
Cool.
Cool. I'm excited for this. This is gonna go well.
Okay, here we go.
Nothing's gone wrong yet, which I'm surprised about.
Nothing has gone wrong yet. I'm also surprised. Apart from me saying that I was winning the space race and I clearly wasn't.
Well, it's good to have, like, you know, high goals, I think. Oh, this one's got heat on it. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Cool. These missions scare me so much.
Oh, I see. 2 heat will be generated at the start of the next turn. Oh, so I have a temperature dial I need to watch out for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is actually terrifying.
It's alright, no pressure. No pressure.
Oh man, and some of these actions add heat as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so you just have to, yeah.
okay.
No, so they turn heat
Do they
into
take
the
heat?
things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might be useful then.
Yeah, see, the temperature's gone down now.
Okay, cool.
We need to keep the temperature down.
Okay.
That's the difficult bit. Not that it's difficult. I think you'll nail it. So I'm just
What?
oh.
Wrong.
You jinxed me.
Okay, I'm not gonna give you any advice. I'm gonna just shut up now.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Oh no.
It's okay. Oh wow, that goes up a lot.
It adds 2 at the end of every turn, so you have to bear in mind that, yeah.
Wow, why did I decide to come to Venus?
To win the space race. Remember?
Come 4th in the space race.
Yes, to come forward in the space race. You get a participant's badge. Like, thanks for participating. You tried.
99% on that one.
Well done. That was good. That was a good one. You did that one well.
This mission is cursed.
Oh dear. No, it's fine.
As long as I have enough, like, lightning bolt things to keep resisting. Oh no. This is scary.
Oh no, this is scary.
It's really scary.
I'm really nervous.
I feel like I'm just like hanging on. The thing is, like, if you don't get the objectives, you still like lose the whole thing, even if you don't. Oh no.
It's okay. It's fine. You can resist it. It's cool.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Whoops.
Okay. Let's get that temperature down.
Yeah, I need to do both of these and also this, I think.
Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, you've got no powers to resist anything.
It'll be okay. We just have to pray that none of these fail, and then we've done it. Oh no!
Why did you say that? It's really not enjoying you today, is it? It just does not want you to do it.
They were like, you thought you could be fourth, but actually you can't. Oh wait, you did it! Despite everything.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that was so tense.
Oh, yay.
Oh man, that is incredibly tense.
That was nail biting, that was. It's horrible. Don't do that to us again, Ira. Come on.
Do my best. Maybe I shouldn't have launched it in a suboptimal launch window.
It's all about learning, isn't it? It's all about learning.
Okay. Ah, so we can take on... I don't think I've done this yet, actually.
Go on.
So, multi-crew orbit.
Yeah, send some people up to space.
Yeah. I haven't had any trouble launching anything this time. It's just been when it's up there. But it's gonna be fine. I don't know if I have enough astronauts, actually. How many do you need for that mission? I don't know if you can find out yet. Maybe you have to build a payload first. I have 2 astronauts anyway. They're just like saying they have nothing to do, so they'll be excited.
Just been sat there for years.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Okay, well, they're getting paid.
That's true.
They'll be doing training.
So, Paul, what do you think are the biggest challenges in space exploration in general? Like, obviously, Ira's having a lot of trouble with her mini challenges. What are the real life big challenges?
Technology is one of the big ones. Because it's relatively simple, sort of, for us to get to space, to low Earth orbit now, so where satellites are and where the International Space Station is. But beyond that, there's a whole host of other issues. We went to the moon in the 70s, right? And we haven't really been back since. So there's a lot of difficulty in getting even that far, let alone Mars or Venus, as we've seen. But Venus and Mars are 2 of our closest neighbours. So you want to visit them, but the radiation environment near them is so harsh that you need a lot of shielding, and that adds more mass to a spacecraft, which means that it needs more fuel to lift, which means it needs a bigger rocket, which means you need more money and more technology to build a bigger rocket, and so on. So there's every little thing adds up. And so if you want to send a human, you've got to add life support systems, you've got to have food for them, water to drink, radiation shielding, space for them to sleep, eat, you've got to add a toilet, all of those things to think about as well. As well as the psychological effects of leaving Earth for years at a time. So basically everything. That's what the biggest problems are. All of it.
Yep. It sure seems like that when I'm playing Mars Horizon. It really is like managing so many things. Like, I have no money now, I haven't researched enough, my rocket's exploded and I have to build another one.
And that's why every space mission is so important and it's so special. There's so many hundreds and thousands of people working on all of these some of the smartest people on the planet who are working on these things. So I have confidence that we'll get there. It's just a matter of time.
So as Ira mentioned about rockets exploding, we haven't actually had any rockets exploding yet.
No, I actually just had a very good launch.
I did see that. I was very proud of you. It looked like it went well.
Yep. It's because it's not trying to go to like any other planets. It's just going to Earth orbit. We've done that so many times.
So we spoke about this a bit briefly, but so what actually happens in real life when a rocket explodes? So what processes are there, and are there like backup rockets to send, or do you spend all your time working on the one and then just hope that it launches successfully?
Well, a rocket exploding is a big event in the space industry. You've got to have a lot of investigation. There's got to be some independent reports on what happened. If people are involved, the two shuttle disasters both prompted shutdowns of the space shuttle fleet from NASA, because you have to go back and check everything, recheck it, refurbish things, make sure that all of the problems are resolved, because you can't risk doing it again. 10 years ago I'd have said no, there are no backup rockets, but now SpaceX are using reusable rockets and have a whole fleet sat in their garages basically. But even then, the spacecraft that you're sending up there, your satellites or landers and so on, often don't have fully functional spares sat waiting just in case. So companies will pay for insurance for their satellites. So if it does go wrong, they at least have some money to try and rebuild, for instance. But because of the inherent danger of launching in space, most spacecraft will have what's called a flight spare. That's where you build each spacecraft twice, essentially. One that's the actual flight hardware that will go into space. That's where you put most of your effort and time and money on. But you have the spare in the background for like testing, trying new solutions to things if something doesn't work out. You'll have that kind of semi-ready backup that hopefully, if fingers crossed, if something does go wrong, you do have something in your back pocket to use just in case.
Turns out I don't have enough money to launch another rocket for a while. Let's see how my Hall of Fame is coming on.
I was going to say, why did you put that down?
You spent so much money on rocks.
I did spend a lot of money on destroying rocks. That might have been an issue. But it's okay, our Hall of Fame will be done in 5 months. So.
5 months? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we now have to just wait for the funding to come in.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay. So there are obviously lots of fictional versions of space exploration. So which ones are more accurate and which ones aren't? So like thinking of The Martian or Kim Stanley Robinson's Red Mars trilogy, First Man, etc. Which ones are more realistic?
Kim Stanley Robinson's Red Mars trilogy is one that's been held up for a long time as a good example of hard sci-fi, so science fiction that is relatively accurate. But because it was written so long ago, there's a lot of stuff that maybe we've now debunked or are no longer relevant as technology has advanced and science has advanced. The Martian was fairly accurate, although dust storms on Mars are nowhere near as severe as at the start of The Martian. Whilst they do engulf the planet, the atmosphere is so thin that the dust itself has to be very small and very light in order to be carried by the very, very faint breezes that exist because the atmosphere is so thin. So it's definitely not like standing in a storm on Earth. But science fiction doesn't have to always be entirely accurate, because it's about entertainment as well. And if your entire book is about astronauts sat twiddling their thumbs on the way to Mars, then it's exciting.
That's very true. That's very true.
Although I should point out that they wouldn't be twiddling their thumbs; they'd be doing lots of valuable science.
So what's going on now, Ira? We're just waiting for money.
I got some money, so I'm building the rocket.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Gonna have another rocket finished in a bit. Oh yeah, this is the one for the multi-crew orbit mission.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes. I have every faith it will go well.
I'm sure. I mean, I've hired only the cheapest astronauts. So.
I really like building rockets that look like they shouldn't fly.
Yeah, there's some weird combinations you can make.
Yeah, like tiny little tops and then really, really big
Oh
bombs.
wow, this one costs a lot of money. Okay.
Oh no.
I guess that one is on hold for a while as well.
Oh my, that's a lot of money. Oh my god.
It is a lot of
Okay.
money. It's gonna take me a while to get there. Just saving up to build my rockets. Just put a penny in the jar every now and then, and we'll get there.
Okay. Sure, that's how they work out the funding. They're like,
Yeah.
yep.
No comment.
A penny a day for the ESA. Here we go.
Okay, I think this is also going to be a really expensive. Oh my gosh, this one's so expensive as well. What have I done? Maybe
You built a Hall of Fame instead of...
maybe my rockets are too expensive.
To be fair, this never happens to me because I always make my own custom agency and give myself loads of money to start off with, so I never run out. It's one of the perks you can choose. You can choose a trait to have loads of money.
I didn't even know. I've just been playing as a poor space agency this whole time. I could have just...
I mean, you say poor, but you're coming fourth in most of the events, so who's the real winner?
If I gave myself loads of money, I probably wouldn't be fourth. Okay. So I don't actually need that extra part that I was putting on. That makes it a lot cheaper. I wonder if it's the same for this one.
Okay.
Wait. Is that more expensive than it was before?
I don't know. How much was it before?
I think it might be.
Yeah, that's very expensive. But...
I think it's just expensive because it has people in it. Like, we don't want to cheap out on that.
Yeah. Well, that relates to what Paul's been saying about how much more goes into missions that I've got people on.
Okay. The Hall of Fame finishes next month.
Oh,
okay.
Great! We can hire more astronauts we can't afford to hire.
It's fine.
Goodness gracious me.
We'll get some money from launching this rocket, maybe? Oh no, we'll probably just get science.
Which is just as valuable as money.
If not more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I have a question about the rovers, actually. I'm really interested in how you drive them. Is it like a video game, or how does it work?
It's not quite a video game. Unfortunately, you can't have your Xbox controller on Mars. It's because there's a half-hour delay basically between Earth and Mars. So any action that you take is 30 minutes delayed on Mars. So if you hit a rock on Mars, you won't know about it until half an hour later. So you won't be able to react. So all of the movement of a rover is planned out in advance. We have scientists in the UK who help NASA with the Curiosity rover and help to drive that. One of them told me that he uses his Microsoft HoloLens to essentially drive it from his kitchen, which is an image. Scientists and geologists have to work out what the terrain looks like, what it's likely to be, whether it's there's big rocks in the way, whether it's too steep for it to climb up, and so on. But the Rosalind Franklin rover will be will have a technology on it that allows it to make some of these decisions for itself. So it's never just sat waiting for commands. It can adapt to some situations without human input, which is a big advancement. We don't have a lot of autonomous rovers on Mars. So far, they're all driven by people here on Earth. But the Rosalind Franklin rover also has a cool wheel system. It has 6 wheels, but they are also legs, so it can climb upstairs by moving each leg individually. It's very slow, but it enables it to go further and in more difficult places than ever before.
I mean, it sounds cute, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how I would get so attached to rovers. I get so attached to them. I'm terrible for things like that.
I think it's also part of it as well, isn't it? Getting people to think the robots are really cool that are going to space, so they're interested in them.
Yeah.
It is really peak sci-fi though, thinking about robots going to other planets.
Yeah, it is peak sci-fi.
Mars is the only world inhabited solely by robots.
Oh yeah.
That's such a cool way of putting it.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I love that. We had an okay launch.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh.
I feel like as soon as you're let's pay attention to what Ira's doing, this happens. It was going so well. Nothing bad had happened.
I just won't say it. I'm just not going to say anything.
I think you're making the satellite nervous.
Oh, right, okay.
They're shy.
So now I'm just watching in silence instead.
Yeah. For some reason it feels worse.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Right, okay. I will simply not say another word. And we'll just
That's
watch
fine.
it in silence. It's fine.
There we go. That wasn't so bad.
It was like, Allie, shut up! Yay! It's the end.
Concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just weighing up if I can go for that 50% bonus or not.
Nope. Uh-oh. It's fine though.
It's fine. Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Have you got any bonuses during this session?
Yeah, I got the 25% bonus for the first phase of this.
Okay.
Usually I get them every time, but I don't know.
Now that you're being watched.
Yeah, that'll be it.
It's always the way. But yeah, we're coming up to the end of our time now. But thank you so much for both joining me. I've had a really nice time chatting about all things space with you both. There's some really interesting things from you as well, Paul, and I'm really sorry about your save, Ira. Feel free to just restart when we're finished. I mean,
yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing.
I mean, you've made it to 4th on a few of those milestones, so
yeah, you don't win the space race by accepting your mistakes. That's how it works.
And thank you everybody for watching this at the Festival of Tomorrow. We hope you had a great time. And yeah, don't forget to check out Mars Horizon on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch, which you can pick it up on all of those. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.